For August Personal Shopper Scrapbooking, let's go into our box and see what happens. You know, it always just feels a bit like Christmas, doesn't it, when this arrives? Well, we have our card and envelope, so we'll set that aside. We get a template this time. It's called Paper Chain, so it's going to be fun to see what happens with that. Here's our newsletter. And our embellishment pack has a variety of course, ribbons, as you might think, but this ribbon, look at that, that has bows across it. That's fun. We've got some lace, we've got some rickrack, some fiber, and there's also some liliques, and those are hard to find, so it's nice to have these shapes, and we'll see what fun things to do with them, and then some brads to attach them. So let me set all of this aside. We're getting some brand new scrapbooking dazzles, and this is lace and doilies. Now, these will not be available until a month from now to the regular public, but of course, as members, you get them first. Just to show you, because that all white on white, as we get down here, there are 87 pieces in this collection. So you can see borders, focals, corners, just some beautiful pieces. Now, what we're going to have to go with them, well, let me pull these papers out and let me go through them with you. This collection is going to be called Lace, and there are 6 different sheets. You, of course, get 2 of each. I'll just show you one. This is my favorite. I absolutely love this. I think this is a gorgeous, and how fun to have a stripe to coordinate. We also have a darker treatment. So we've got this border, and 2 corners have little treatments on them. So that's gorgeous. An all over with that aqua, as well as a pink all over. This is a very fun pattern that has lots of layers to it, so that's great to see. And then kind of a textured, but you can faintly see this giant doily on it, so that looks great. Now again, 2 of each of those. The second color combination is one I think of as Celebration. It's got these banners on it. It's got something that kind of resembles a Ferris wheel down in the corner, but it's very, very light. Now, we also have a sheet of pinwheels, and that's very fun and bright. As we get in closer, you can see those individual pinwheels and lots of fun colors as they coordinate. Then we have a check pattern, as well as a dot pattern, an all over dot. Doesn't that look festive? And then we have a tone-on-tone red. I love these because they're so useful for matting, for lots of other things. And then it wouldn't be a celebration without a gorgeous stripe. Again, 2 each of those. Then we have the brown diamonds, and then we've got some spattered papers in a soft green, a blue, and then we have a confetti, which of course is great for celebrations, and then 2 of a gold metallic paper, and this has a really nice texture to it. It's a great weight, so that's going to come in very handy. Now, what do we do with these? Let's take a look. The very first combination is using the lacy papers, and this is done in of course, a double page spread, and it's talking about Kyla and me. So I love this photograph of mother and daughter. That's a great thing to remember. Lace down here. I love the fact that the doily, or the lace and doily scrapbooking dazzles don't overpower anything. They're really a great support, and this has been layered. This pattern for the leaves is also in the newsletter. A little bit of border as a side accent on the journaling as well as on the photograph. And then the companion page, you can see how this is using the papers in a double page spread so that that center area just flows so beautifully. And I love how the accent done with the lace and the stacked doilies in the center, kind of bridging those 2 photographs. And then another little one tucked under, and another flower made, just like the first page. That looks very, very fun. Now, our celebration is happening a couple of different things. Here's our first use of the party chains template. So you can see that that chain is done with a series of colors, And these are called charms on the template, so they hang from the chain. So it just makes a very fun look. We'll see it here in the scrapbook page. We'll see it later in a card. And then we also have, you can see that the pinwheel pattern has been placed on the dot with the stripe in the middle. The reason why they can work so well together is that they don't sit next to each other. They are matted with, in this case, a dark brown cardstock. So that works well. Very fun photos placed in a very nice presentation, a tall one and then two smaller horizontal in the center. Star in the center has also been used from that same template. The companion page is showing even more festivities, and I love the fact that the party chain goes down the side. I think that just makes a terrific border, again with the charm hanging from it. And we've got these photos kind of tipped and overlapped in the center with using that blue spattered for some journaling. He liked the train best. Now, another layout of the party and the celebration is a perfect use of those banners at the top, but also adding more fiber and letting the leeks hang from them as extra embellishments. And then I think that this is a very interesting idea for the party chains. I would never have thought of this, but to make them like a series of balloons, and they're hanging from this ribbon that has the bows on it, using the rickrack going into the center of the page and doing one giant journaling. Fun to see that in red. And here is the companion page of doing this with more of the same treatment with the banner, more balloons, and adding the stripe at the bottom. That's a great look for this one. And here is our fourth double page spread, and you can see how they've trimmed right along the edge of that aqua page and then done a little bit, a strip of gold behind it, more of the lace, and then placing the lace and doily scrapbooking dazzles as embellishments, both underneath this little tag that gives the date, but also around the edge of the photograph. And not all four edges, just two in this case. The companion page also has the same thing, but look at the treatment along the photographs as well as the journaling. So up here as we get in, you can see part of the lace was just added in that open area around the photo. Couple of hearts, can't go wrong. Not only the border, and the border in Scrapbooking Dazzles is 6 inches long, but you get 2 pieces of each so that you can make a 12-inch long border if you like. Here is another piece that has been trimmed off. Again, lace looks great even on a masculine photo. He gets a heart too. And then a little bit down underneath the journaling. So a great accent. Now, what else can you do with that? Well, look at this. A gorgeous card, absolutely beautiful, done with the stripe paper. And you know, I've come to believe you can do so many things with stripes. So you can see that the doily has been placed there, and then these others have been backed with paper. So just placed on paper, trimmed right around the edge, just kind of in a loop fashion, and then foam taped together. So there's 1, 2, 3 layers are foam taped here. The corner treatment is done, and then with a small border placed between 2 of those corners. And then on the inside, you're a great friend. So a very gorgeous look. Now, using the lace doilies and the party chain template, look at this spectacular card. I love the interlinking hearts, but also how every other one has the lace and doily scrapbooking dazzles on top. They've simply been trimmed to fit. And I love the lace on the inside. How great is that? Again, cutting along the scallop of the striped. And this is an anniversary card, but of course it could be birthday, thinking of you, anything you like. And then on the inside, one more of the heart party chain has been placed there. So quite spectacular. Now, the more ideas, all of those on the back page of the newsletter just gives us even more ideas. That's what they're meant to do. But here's an example of more of those charms hanging from the party chain. In this case, a area has been punched out, so we've got the word fun placed, as you can see, and the date placed in one of the other chains. But look at these, they're holding small photographs. How fun is that? Great look. Now, again, the scrapbooking dazzles. Let's go into some ideas for that. A little pocket has been created out of the brown diamonds and a little trim along the edge, a little piece of the gold specialty paper, again with layered dazzles on top, and then a little treatment on the corner here with gold back behind it. Speaking of which, here is a butterfly made out of the or the scrapbooking dazzles. So you can see it right in here. It's got a little gold body. That works very well. Placed on a lace border and just right next to the journaling. A nice treatment there. This actually is one of the flower party chains. So that's the base of this, and then the butterfly's been built on top. Now you can also change the color of the dazzles, any of the dazzles. Even if they're black, you can make them copper, as been done here with the white lace and doily dazzles. So just tap it with a Stays-On ink pad. In this case, a photograph has been placed and then another piece of paper has been backed. And what a beautiful, beautiful look. A little tag on the side linked through one of the chains. Now, the party chains can also be used on a serif surface. This is the swirl box. Now, when you get the box, let me unfold this, it comes flat. And that way, you can decorate it. So in this case, the striped paper was wrapped around it. A piece of the lace and doilies was placed on the paper and then just trimmed straight. And then the party chains were done and letters were placed behind each one. So, for you. And then it quickly gets put into the shape to become a perfect gift bag. So decide what's going to go in here. Certainly a small scarf. We always talk about truffles and chocolates because, you know, they just seem to fit everything, but what a very festive and very fun presentation. Now, the last thing that Susan did is she gave us kind of a sampler of different ways to use those leeks. And in this case, she has used them as a mask, and she's put them on, tapped it with a Versamark, and then come back and embossed with superfine white embossing powder. Here she's done it placing the dazzle and then tapping it with a black Stays-On. Here she has inked the edges of the Lalique with a gold Stays-On because it is plastic, so the gold works really well. And then she has inked one of the dazzles black and trimmed it to fit in the center. She's done the same thing here with inking it with gold. Now, there are even more ideas down here, and all of those are explained in the newsletter. Lots of ideas, lots of beautiful things, and that's what we expect of Scrapbooking Personal Shopper.